Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today we're going to hear Glenn Beck on the PBD podcast talk about the Venezuela stuff. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link. If you want to join that, I am in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome. Hey, Nick Fuentes fans, if you dare to defend your ideas, here's a play. You won't get banned for your ideas. I don't care what you fucking say. Just no images and videos that are pornographic or grotesque. That's all I ask for. Other than that, please bring your opinions, bring your thoughts, bring your ideas, and obviously non-Nick Fuentes fans, please say whatever you want. Please. All of it is very much welcome.
Or you can rest on your or you can rest on your argument. Your argument.
Your fucking audio was so fucked right there, and it was so clear before. Try again. Try one more time.
You hear me now?
Yeah, good.
Or, as a Nick Fuentes fan, you can stand on your argument.
Yeah, you can. You can stand on your goddamn argument. You can do that here if you want to. And also, I will link everything I show here so that if you don't want us to pause the video and talk, if you don't want to hear us talking over the video, if you don't like our opinions at all, you can go look at all these things on your own in the description box. I know people are not used to sourcing, and they're not used to like, hey, I could just go watch this myself because I don't like the commentator, right? It's here for you to go see it on your own. It's sad I have to say that, but that is apparently the case. So, yes, please take advantage of this, of the description box. Plenty of stuff in there. And this will be in there. All these links will be in there, and I'm just gonna go through my little stories. I'm sorry, my little news stories before we get to the main video. As you can see here, Netanyahu orders powerful strikes in Gaza after Hamas attacks IDF forces in Rafah. My report on Axios, which smells like bullshit, personally. I mean, Rafah. That's. Remember the IED thing where two Israeli people were driving like these bulldozing machines and knocking down territory, knocking down houses, and they drove over a IED, or what was the other word? Unexploded ordnance. You don't know where? I don't know yet where it was from. I don't know if Hamas planted it there months ago, or if Israel dropped the bomb and it didn't go off and they ran over it. Right? Can't say I know. But within that story, Hamas and people that were talking about Hamas were saying, like, oh, well, these guys have not been in southern Gaza for the most part. They've been up towards northern and mostly central Gaza, aka like Gaza City, right? Like somewhere in those areas versus like in Rafah, where it's like just straight up southern Gaza near the Egyptian and Jordan border, right? So Hamas now attacking IDF in Rafah would. I'm just saying, based on the things I've heard, maybe this is the case, but based on the things I've heard, wouldn't make sense. But would it actually matter in regards to the reaction from the Israeli government? I'm not so sure. As you can see here, breaking is Israel just started bombing Gaza again. Israeli airstrikes reported in the vicinity of Al Shifa Hospital in Gaza City, among other areas in the Strip. So in Gaza, they're bombing in Gaza City for an event in Rafah. Does that make sense? I'm not sure that makes sense. But don't worry, the point is to do these things anyways. There's no intention of holding the ceasefire. Israel's been breaking it from the very beginning. They've already been breaking the ceasefire. And yeah, for a lot of people, it's no surprise. But as far as like tactically from the U.S. government and somewhat the Israeli government, I guess it worked out for them because now there's people are not talking about Gaza as much, right? It kind of worked. Now there's no like, hey, look what they're doing a genocide, guys. See, look, they're doing a genocide. Now it's like kind of died down a bit. Not from the guys that play inside baseball that look into these stories every day, right? But for the maybe mass public that was starting to be aware of like, wait a minute, Israel's doing some criminal shit over there, and we care about it now. Those guys might have shut up now and got put back to sleep, because the announcement of a peace deal that may not be holding up too well. And if you ask me, my best guess, these guys don't. These guys most likely make the U.S. aware of what they're doing. So it's not a mystery to the Trump administration and what they're doing. Like, it's not a mystery to them. It's not a mystery. It shouldn't be a mystery to even the Democratic Party, right? But I expect people to fall asleep anyways and focus more so on, the government shutdown and prices and meat deals with Argentina. No pause, apparently. No pause for that. Like, it is what it is, guys. What do you want to say? Like, if you fell asleep, you got played again. And I try my best to say that. To let people, hey, it isn't about, me winning and you losing. It's more so like, hey, this is happening. Maybe be a little bit more aware of it. That's why I try to do these little stories in between, our main event, political, political celebrity types. Shout out to Ed Lee. But Ed, okay, just wanted to say that. Let's continue here. Now we move on to Venezuela, which will lead right to the Glenn Greenwald appearance on PBD. As you can see here, breaking, Venezuela says it's captured a CIA-linked mercenary group allegedly plotting a false flag operation near Trinidad and Tobago, just 2 weeks after Trump authorized new CIA activity in the region. Now, part of me would look at that as like maybe a pump fake or a diversion, if you will. But I'll take the story at surface level and kind of run with that, just to consider the idea, just to be fair about it. Because we saw, like, we did the whole video interview with the Jordan Goudreau guy, the ex Green Beret that led an attempted coup attempt on Venezuela back in the first Trump administration, right? And he's very detailed about the operation. Once again, you don't have to believe him. Maybe he's bullshitting. Maybe he's full shit. But I'm not going to turn my brain off and not hear out what the guy's saying. And this sounds quite a bit like that, where those guys were caught as well, right? And they were CIA backed. Well, okay. According to the Jordan Goudreau guy, the CIA set him up, and he's like, okay, CIA told Venezuela what was happening, and then that's what got us caught. All right. But on the surface, it looked like a CIA operation. It did. An intelligence operation with people close to the Trump administration, close to the intelligence agencies, on and so forth. And yes, Trump, like, once again, in mainstream news, Trump did authorize or say, like, CIA, do something about Venezuela for us. So that would make sense for someone to go that direction. Um, but I mean, CIA mercenary linked people. Just telling you my thoughts on this. They already been sending out destroyers, right? Sending out giant ships. They've been basing in Puerto Rico and in Trinidad and Tobago, whatever. Uh, U.S. has been openly like flexing on Venezuela this for a decent amount of months right now, right? So there's no like, I don't see the reason for trying to do some sort of CIA secretive thing when like you're so there present. That would that even work? Would that even work? Jordan Goudreau guy said like when the U.S. shut down the embassy that was in Venezuela, that was the CIA's in to infiltrate and get generals or military guys to turn against the Maduro government. And when they closed down the embassy, the U.S. closed it down, which we're still paying for, by the way, secretly. We're quietly paying for that still for that embassy when there's no U.S. personnel in it. We're paying the staff, we're paying for the building and all that shit for some reason. But we don't have any actual like U.S. employees, ambassador employees working there, which is just crazy. But either way, the guy was saying like that's the place of operations for the CIA to infiltrate and fuck up Venezuela. We got rid of that. So what you want them to do, I guess, is go from Trinidad and Tobago to sneak into the country when you're announcing every little thing you're fucking doing over there. Yeah, we sent warships over there. Yeah, yeah, we got 5,000 Marines in the area. Yeah, we do. You're announcing that, and then the CIA is going to sneak in somehow. Doesn't make sense to me, but either way, that's a headline that exists. Uh, I'm sorry for talking so much gibberish. Let's continue. Another interesting story here. A U.S. agent tried to flip Nicolas Maduro's pilot, offering riches if he secretly flew Venezuela's leader into U.S. custody. The failed plan, which reads like a Cold War spy novel, shows how far the U.S. has gone to oust Maduro. And that makes some sense to me because if you can take out the figureheads, right? Once again, this guy doesn't by himself control the entire government. There's a bunch of people involved, right? But if you take the figurehead out, maybe you can like, okay, now we can just rush in and replace your leader by offering them riches or offering them safety or say, hey, make these deals with the U.S. and we will leave you alone. We'll take off sanctions. Your country will be better off, right? And apparently this pilot refused to turn on Maduro. Okay. Another interesting story. Let's continue. And on the same theme here. Now, this guy he works for Reuters. See right here. And once again, guys, everything will be linked in the description box for everyone to read on their own. You can read through there's articles here. And where's the other one? Here. Article here. But this Phil Stewart guy who works for Reuters, apparently, Scoop. U.S. military officials involved with President Donald Trump's expanding operations in Latin America have been asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Story moving now. So, once again, I go to dumb guy logic. If you're the good guys, right, and you're doing something righteous here, something worthy and righteous, that the American people will stand behind because they're fighting drug dealing or communism, whatever the fuck you claim to be fighting, why do you need NDAs? Why would that be needed? Why does it need to be a secret? It's because they're doing dirt. Duh. The obvious reason. We're doing dirt, and you guys can't snitch about it. And if you do, even if it's something like blatantly criminal, right, or blatantly against what people would want, you point that out, you're the criminal now for pointing out someone doing some criminal shit. That has been the world we live in. That's Edward Snowden. That's Julian Assange. That's these whistleblower types or journalists that print things. Daniel Ellsberg, right, is another name that's famously out there. Reality Winner is another kind of famous name out there. Uh, regardless of what you think about them, if these individuals point out things that they think are crimes, they're the ones who get in trouble, not the guys who are committing the crime. And that's the world you live in, guys. Welcome to Earth. But either way, yeah, who cares? Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Uh, Continuing on in with Venezuela, I'll just play the clip. Hopefully, 60 Minutes doesn't drop a bomb on my fucking YouTube channel. But here we go. Let me check my volume real fast. Make sure. Yeah, that could be louder, son. It could be louder. All right, here we go.
This is a very bad actor sitting on top of the world's largest known reserves of oil, plus the critical minerals that will fuel the 21st century economy. And he's in bed with our strategic competitors.
And how has he been able to cling to power for as long as he has?
I mean, let's be very clear. This is a criminal organization masquerading as a government. This is an individual who is under indictment for narcotics trafficking, commits human rights violations, someone who has used the apparatus of the state to throw people in jail, to torture them, to kill them. This is a...
So, imagine imagine you're indicted for, let's say, war crimes. You as an individual, whether in Discord or in the audience, imagine you're indicted for war crimes, and the person leading the charge against your freedom, essentially, against, saying that you're the criminal. Imagine it was Hillary Clinton doing it. Hillary Clinton calling you a war criminal. How does that come off to you? Then you realize, like, okay, it's rigged, essentially. It's not legit. Once again, Maduro could be, I mean, I don't believe this, but he could be some massive drug dealer or some shit like that. Or, narco-terrorist, whatever words they want to put on it. But guess what? When you guys are doing the same shit, what do I do about that? What do I do about that? It is notorious that the U.S. government, mainly in the intelligence wings, have sold drugs not just to people around the world, but in America. They've done that in America. So, like, how am I supposed to take your word for any of this stuff? Because you won't expose, you'll expose one thing, but not the other. And they haven't even exposed the one thing with Maduro yet. They haven't even done that. Where's your evidence? I thought people would learn after weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, right? I figured people would, learn from that. But apparently not. Apparently they have enough of you to have the green light to keep going forward. Which is, to me, kind of scary, but for other people, well, even kind of, I guess it's normal, and we just accept it. And what was the first words he said here?
Very bad actor sitting on top of the world's largest known reserves of oil.
Okay, so you could have had people right there, like, oh, it's a really bad actor. Let me prove it to you. But instead, but they're sitting on a shit ton of oil. And they might sell to Russia or China. And it's like, you guys are playing your little stupid fucking games. Meanwhile, the leaders in China are fine. The leaders in Russia are fine. The leaders in the US are fine. But it'll be like citizens from those countries actually eat shit. They're the ones who actually eat shit. Genius. Brilliant. Let's keep it moving. As you can see here, U.S. conducts a third bomber flight off the coast of Venezuela. According to flight tracking data, two B-1B bombers made the flight on Monday. Now, Trump has initially, when someone asked him about that, he denied it. And I saw antiwar.com saying, like, well, people are tracking these things, and they see that there. I mean, I'll tell you who I believe in that scenario, but you don't have to believe that. Maybe it's a mystery. No one knows. But either way, here's the article which will mention the initial trackings of bombers floating around Venezuela. Okay, let's continue. So, as I'm sure you're aware of as well, war bombings on random boats, 14 killed, 1 survivor. Secretary of War announces. See how like it just feels like the mainstream news would focus on like changing the name from Secretary of Defense to Secretary of War. Like that would be like the main like grievance. Meanwhile, it's like, fuck your names. Look what you're doing. This is criminal, blatantly criminal. And I'm sure we'll find out in a couple years who these people were. I'm sure with FOIA requests and all that stuff, we'll find out who the fuck it is years from now. But don't worry, your government will lie to you up front and initially. But all right, either way, let's move on to the, I guess, main story here, or part of the main story. It is Glenn Greenwald on the PBD podcast, and I have not watched a second of this, but I'm very curious of what Glenn will say, and also the pushback. What will be said, because I assume that Glenn's going to point out the blatant crimes of the U.S. government in regards to dealing with quote-unquote narco-terrorists in the East Pacific Ocean. I'm sure they'll do that. I'm sure he'll do that. But I'm curious of like what possible pushback they give, maybe, to protect the government apparatus, which a lot of people like doing, including Nick and including Nick and
Did you say
Tucker
the
Carlson.
Pacific?
East
Did you
Pacific.
say the
East.
I guess what the fuck
technically.
is the East Pacific?
I was going with Atlantic the whole time, like international. I was mainly saying like international waters, but people are calling this the East Pacific. So you know what? I just went with it. I'm like, okay, fine.
I don't know what the fuck it means. Venezuela is in the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America. No, but like these boats are being blown up in between Venezuela and Trinidad, right?
Gulf of America.
Okay, got it. Gulf of America.
And in the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, I thought it was Atlantic Ocean the whole time, but
What?
hey, I could be wrong about names.
The East Pacific. No, but what is the East Pacific? I heard there is something. We do have some boats in the Pacific, but around South America.
Okay.
But
that's what I hear people calling it. I just want people to know that I'm talking about that shit right there. I don't care what you call it. Call it the fucking Ubago Ocean. I don't care. Make a name up. I'm talking about the shit where the boats are out in the middle of the ocean and we blow them up. That's what I'm talking about. But whatever. It's like whatever name is the correct name. I'll just go with it. Fine. Doesn't bother me or my argument at all.
I guess you could say the Santa Monica is the East Pacific. It's the west of America, but it's.
I mean, that is the Pacific, but the Pacific is
quite
quite large. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's quite large. But we have this map that has like, oh, okay, here's the hemispheres, and here's the southern hemispheres, the eastern and western hemispheres, right? But whatever, it's relevant, but not crazy, But all right, let's hear Glenn having a conversation with PBD. Here we go.
We were talking before about people in the United States who are inculcated from birth to love Israel. I grew up in this area. There was a huge Cuban community, still is. Those people never learned English because they were only here temporarily in their minds, because they thought once the United States got rid of Cuba, they were going back. They wanted this government to get rid of Cuba for them. Marco Rubio emerges out of this. Lots of people emerge out of it. They're very focused on the Caribbean and Latin America. They think the United States has to go and fix that region. If you look at fentanyl, which by far is the worst drug entering the United States that kills the most people, it doesn't come from Venezuela. Nobody ever talked about Venezuela as the source of fentanyl. It was China and Mexico. The Trump campaign was talking about bombing the cartels in Mexico. It doesn't come from Venezuela. Cocaine, in some minority sense, I think it's 7 or 9%, according to government reports, passes through Venezuela has to do with Venezuela, but it really comes from Colombia. And Colombia has been governed until a couple of years ago by right-wing governments that were close U.S. allies.
It's the first liberal president they've had ever. I think,
first left-wing president. Yeah. So, I mean, Trump's now saying, oh, it's his fault. Colombia has been the source of drugs, forever. All that iconography about Pablo Escobar and the Colombians and ever.
Which is the case, yeah. I heard a number of upwards of 90%. They're producing cocaine around the world.
I've never heard a story of cocaine coming from Venezuela. It's always been Colombia.
Oh yeah, and Mexico, as the receivers of Colombian cocaine, and then it enters the U.S. from there, right? But we heard the Jordan Goudreau guy that said the CIA set up shops. Once again, he could be wrong. He could be wrong. He could be lying, right? But the idea that he was saying, which was okay, cocaine in Venezuela, the CIA has been setting up shop in Venezuela, setting up cocaine operations. And let's be real, there is a precedent there for the CIA dealing with drugs to fund wars, to fund their operations, to whatever. Right? They exchange drugs for guns. They sell the guns, or they give the guns to someone else, which funds an operation that they can kind of, rat-like fucking scheme off of, right? Or they sell drugs in the U.S. to purchase guns to give to whoever the fuck, right? The Contras or anything like Nicaragua, right? It could be they have. Just hearing that story alone about the Iran Contra stuff, right? That leaves room for me mentally and logically for a whole bunch of other operations and things that they could do, where they can just use drugs to fund it, because somewhere in plenty of people in every country, someone's on drugs somewhere, and rich or poor, doesn't matter what bracket you come from, cocaine will sell, drugs will sell. So why not use it? And it's black money, right? It's on the black market. It's not on paper. It's not in tax code. Sorry, no one's paying taxes with this shit, right? So it's a fucking secret, quiet wallet, and you're just gathering money by selling these drugs everywhere that people want anyways. And that has been a thing. But yeah, okay. Let's continue. Here we go.
This is a pretext. This is not. If you want to stop the flow of drugs, you have to close the borders, deal with the Mexican cartels. It has nothing to do with Venezuela. It's the WMD of the war. They want to change Maduro because they want a puppet government in Venezuela. But it's not going to be that easy. We've been trying in Cuba for 7 decades to bring down that government. We've used all our might militarily.
Sorry, Anthony. Embiid fucking hit, but the Sixers about to lose. Just want to say that. Also, Glenn, go further into that, right? There is a problem from some of these more, not more gangster, but these team of gangsters versus other teams of gangsters, right? And with these more westernized gangsters, they want to have a fucking stake in every they want to plant a flag everywhere, from what I've seen, right? They want their interests to be met in every fucking territory they can get their fucking hands on, especially ones that are resource rich. So it's Glenn should lean into that of why nationalizing your oil or nationalizing your minerals or nationalizing your lithium or whatever it is, why it's so important. Lithium in regards to Bolivia, right? With what's his name? Evo Morales, right? Why they had to oust him. Right? The people there, seemingly, as far as the majority of people, like the guy, right? But we can't have that because he's gonna, give the profits of selling these minerals and spread it out, I guess, across the country. Maybe not for everyone, but for the majority. And if you're part of the Kraft family, or you're a Dulles brother, you may not like that shit, right? You want your flag planted, and you want to be able to own everything you can get your hands on. And that's why these things are a problem for Western gangsters. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Easy. We've been trying in Cuba for 7 decades to bring down that government. We've used all our might militarily, economically. We've suffocated that island like we're suffocating Venezuela. You know, you can go and change the government of Venezuela if you want, but what is Venezuela doing to the United States? We closed the border. Trump did succeed in doing that. There's no influx, or basically no influx anymore across the southern border. So the argument is not they're sending, drug cartels or immigrants to enter our country. And if you look at everything that has been said about fentanyl, which is what's killing people, it's not cocaine, it's fentanyl. It doesn't come from Venezuela. This is a disconnect. If you want to solve fentanyl, changing the government of Venezuela is irrelevant. And even if you did change the government of Venezuela, do you know the kind of instability you're going to have there? You think the drug cartels are going to disappear? Like I said, we controlled Colombia for decades with our alliance with the right-wing governments. It didn't stop. We helped in a civil war. You can't destroy the flow of drugs. The drug war doesn't work. What you have to do is, why is there so much demand in the United States for drugs? That is one crucial part of the equation.
Why is there so much demand
Why
for
is
drugs?
there? Yes. Why in the United States, why do so many
drugs
Americans
feel good.
get addicted to drugs,
Awesome.
use drugs, want drugs? Why is there such a big market in the United States for drugs?
Yeah, but I don't think, there's a demand for it. I think you create those customers. How do you think you do it? Oh, so you're gonna go back to war on drugs with the U.S. government being involved?
No, the war on drugs is the war on drugs is a failed model, and that's what the war on Venezuela would be, right? We're going to use our military. We're bombing drug ships. This does not work. Drugs are too easy to smuggle. Drugs are too easy and the profit is too big to destroy it with military. You have to eliminate the demand for it. That's the way to stop the war on drugs.
So you're saying leave it. You're saying leave Venezuela alone. You're saying let Maduro do whatever he's doing.
I think if you look at if I were to say, here's a list of the top 50 things that are creating problems for the American people in their lives.
In the top
I don't
50?
put Venezuela in the top 50. Venezuela? I mean, it's like, to me, like, who's going which warlord is going to run east. Venezuela will sell oil to us. Well, they'll happily sell oil to us. We don't buy oil from them because we sanction them. Of course they'll sell their oil to us. Trump said that Maduro offered everything. He said, here's oil, here's mineral rights, here's whatever you want. Marco Rubio's lifelong obsession is changing the governments of the region that his family comes from. That's a big part of it. Venezuela is not a threat to the United States. There are bad people who come from Venezuela. We've closed the borders. We're deporting them. That's, of course, part of what we should be doing. That's what Trump ran on and is doing.
Oh, Glenn. See, okay, let me be honest. Here's what Glenn's doing. Glenn is playing the good guy, but he has different ideas of things also at the same time. Like he's like, it's a good thing he's closed down the border. He's getting immigrants out of here, legal immigrants out of here. Like, the way he's doing is horrendous. Everyone knows it's terrible the way he's doing it. It's inhumane, basically. And Glenn believes that as well, most likely. But he can't say that because he's on PBD podcasts, and he's trying to... If I had to guess, what he's trying to do is educate dumb fuck PBD, because he doesn't know anything about anything. And I don't think he's here to actually learn anything, Glenn. And Glenn might be aware of that, too. He's like, all right, let me talk to PBD's audience. Let me talk to those guys, not... Yeah, PBD's the fucking conduit for this stuff, right? I'm talking to him. But in reality, I'm talking to the audience. I'm telling them, like, hey, guys, this is bullshit. Let me explain how it's bullshit. Hey, look, man, Trump's doing some good things to, like, kind of get on their side, earn their favor. But also point out, like, well, if I really wanted to stop this, I wouldn't do it this way. It's a weird, like, appeal thing. It's a weird strategical thing that these guys do. I kind of understand, but it's still, I have to point it out, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to point it out that that he's doing that. But all right, yeah, all right. Let's continue. Here we go.
We don't need to go to war with Venezuela, kill thousands of people, create instability and civil war there for years to come that we're then responsible for.
So I understand for you as a non-interventionist that you would take that position.
It's not a principle. It's a pragmatic view.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. But also, how many Venezuelans do we have living here? 1 million? What's the number? How many
There you
people do
go.
we have living in the States that
There it
escape
is,
Venezuela?
the talking point.
The number could be 1 million. What is the number?
903,150.
So what percentage of those would go back if Venezuela became, ran under a different regime than Maduro? I don't think you agree that Maduro is a good leader for Venezuela.
No, it's not my role to choose Venezuela's leaders.
So if Venezuela stays like Cuba for the next 40 years, to you it's like, it's not my business, it's their problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why would I haven't even been to Venezuela? Have you been to Venezuela?
I've not been to Venezuela.
How are you going to choose their leaders?
I've been to Panama. I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah, I live in Latin America. I've been all around.
No, you've been all over.
Yeah, but I haven't been to Venezuela. How am I going to choose their leader for them?
No, it's not. It's not about that. To me, it's again. This goes back to that. That's why I went interventionist, non-interventionist. Then I brought this up. This goes back to a potential future crisis that could happen. That a leader has to sit there and say, is this in the top 20 worst things that can happen to us 10, 20 years from now? If there is more, Colombia was a conservative country for many, many years, and then all of a sudden they're flipping now. They have that Petro guy that said, like this. Did you see what he said? Like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that's okay for him to do that? You think it's okay for somebody to say something like that, and then he's friends with those guys? And
but like I said, Colombia was ruled for decades, for the long time, remember, by a close U.S. ally that did what we want, basically a puppet government. We had military base in Colombia. We helped them fight that civil war against FARC and other drug militias. You think it reduced the supply of drugs in the United States? It did not. It did not. And also, you can look at Venezuela. Okay, will Venezuela be a future problem in 20 years? Do you think if we go in, remove Maduro, I'm not saying he's popular among his people, but he has huge numbers of very, very armed followers.
Machado beat him.
Fair enough.
51, 59%, whatever the number, 61 to 43.
Still, you're talking about millions of armed people loyal to Venezuela. And even if they don't like Maduro, it's not like everybody loves the United States coming in and intervening and invading. It's like, the Iraqis are going to welcome us as liberators, right? That was the theory. That proved not to be true. Not because people love Saddam, but because people don't like the United States coming in. We're going to go in and we're going to kill we're going to lose, even in Panama, we lost hundreds of soldiers who died, American soldiers. Venezuela is a much harder, bigger country, more armed. It's going to be a lot harder. But then once you remove Maduro and you prop up this regime, now you're responsible for this regime, responsible for propping it up, this government. And you're going to have civil war. You're going to have civil conflict for the longest time. It's going to spill over into neighboring countries, including Brazil, into the United States. We're going to take refugees. We're going to take whomever. That's also going to create massive problems. It's not like we're going to surgically remove Maduro, put him into a U.S. prison or kill him, and then everything just, democracy and peace and love flourishes in Venezuela. We're going to be responsible for that country. You go in and you break it, and now you own it. That's what Colin Powell said about Iraq, and it was true about Iraq. Why are we going to take on the Venezuelan people have every right to hate Maduro. I don't contest that at all. We're not going to help. We're not there to help. That's not our goal. Even if it were, we can't help. We don't understand these other countries. Every country has a. You know how it took me to feel comfortable even talking about.
I'm sorry, I have to pause right now. This is so sad because it's like, Glenn, call it what it is. Like, as you say, this is a repeat script from other incidences that have happened. Call it corrupt. It's not hard to do. It's blatant corruption. Blatant. Holy Christ. What are people waiting for? Like, I can't stand this type of thing where like some sort of like strategist shit where you're waiting for the crowd to figure it out before you're like, okay, now I'm on that side. Say it up front. Say it what it is. It's blatant corruption. It's not about stopping drugs into the country. It's not about the Monroe fucking doctrine. It's corruption. It's gangster shit. It's blatantly that. How are we not seeing that? Like, am I stupid for, like, am I the dumb one here? I think it's pretty fucking obvious what they're doing. It's pretty fucking obvious. They're coming up with excuses to take over a country for whatever reason. Like honestly, like, fuck the oil stuff, fuck those narratives. It ain't clean, whatever the fuck it is. It ain't fucking clean. And they're relying on you guys not caring about it. That's how they get away with those things. Iraq, where they send their own U.S. soldiers in, meaning your friends, your sons, your daughters, your whoever, your parents. Yeah, they need the moral excuse. They need you to be alongside with it, which is what happened with Iraq, right? Something like this, they can get away with it's free, bro. It's a Toys R Us shopping spree, bro. Whatever they want to do. And Glenn has to, oh, please, Mr. PBD, like, please understand what I'm saying. Meanwhile, he's actually talking to the audience to try to like slowly guide them towards seeing like what's actually happening. And it's like, Glenn, I know it. I can't say I know, but most likely, if something went down there in 5 or 6 months, you're going to point out how corrupt the Trump administration was into like their actions in regards to having an excuse to take over Venezuela. But now you're here in front of this guy, like let him know. Oh, it's fucking corrupt. And if you're with this, you're a fucking idiot. Or you're a part of it. He can't say that, can he? I'm fucking wrecked. I'm fucking wrecked, homie. Like, what do you do? What do you do with this? You try to like, please, dumb Republican, please realize that they're gonna fucking destroy a country for their own means, not for you, not for the average American. It won't help you out at all. It'll help them out, you dummies. How are we not getting that? And how does Glenn not know that? But I think he does. I think he's playing strategy. And that's the worst case. That's the best I can come up with. That's the best excuse, the best reasoning for why he's saying what he's saying here is that, okay, I can't just be mean because if I'm mean, then they won't listen to me, which is also a major, major problem, right? But, if I'm like a little bit nicer, they may hear some tidbits of information that will make them think a little bit deeper about the situation. And it's like, that's a sad state of affairs. It really is. We can do better than that, guys. Truly. But if you call it out like that, apparently, like, it's not good enough. It's just, like, what do I say? Like, I watch these content creators. I see what they're doing. I call it out. I call out what I see, what I think I see them doing, right? And they're gonna flop one day, right? They're gonna be like, oh, this guy's full of shit. The fans. I mean, the fans will be like, oh, fuck this guy. Whether or not they are full of shit, right? They'll be like, oh, fuck this guy. He's old news, and they'll move on and repeat the process. It's like I expect that to happen. Like, let's say this channel blows up one day, right? The same thing will happen over here. And I was like, you guys fucking listening? Like, no one's fucking listening. Like, I will make myself the bad guy first. Glenn apparently can't do that. But I'll be the bad guy first. You won't have a chance to call me a bad guy. I'll do it first. But I won't be a bad guy. I'll actually be like critical of what anyone says to me at any point in time. Because that's the point, to be real about things. Not be your daddy and guide you somewhere. To be real about it. I'm preaching too much again. Whatever. Good play. All you, Glenn. I'll back up a little bit. Here you go, Glenn. You got it.
Help. That's not our goal. Even if it were, we can't help. We don't understand these other countries. Every country has a, how long it took me to feel comfortable even talking about Brazilian politics? Like at least a decade of living there.
But they're not fully different.
Then I realized like it's never going to be in my.
I'm sorry, they're not fully different. So then show the relation. Hey man, if someone just storms your country or overthrows your leader for their own reasons, right? You wouldn't like that, right? Then like. Just talk about the actual relations, not like, hey, we don't even know what's going on there. Just leave it alone. Because I don't think that's the answer either, is leave it alone. It's like, why not investigate and find out? Shouldn't that be what the leader's actually doing? Hey, man, come talk to me. What's going on here? What's going on in your country? And you're not lying to me? Like, if I find out you're lying to me, It's not gonna like this is not good. That's not we can't have that. But has that been attempted at all? No, not at all. And that should be the easy, simple IQ test of like we're not like the U.S. government is not handling this correctly. They're handling this for some other means, not for diplomacy or morality, or even to help Americans out. It's not the point, obviously, because they tell you as much by their actions. They tell you so. Crazy, huh? All right, here we go. Sorry, I'll shut up.
That's not our goal.
Sorry, the genius Glenn is
Even
talking.
if it were, we can't help. We don't understand these other countries. Every country has how long it took me to feel comfortable even talking about Brazilian politics? Like at least a decade of living there. And even then I realized like it's never going to be in my DNA the way the US is. Like I'm always going to understand the US the best.
DNA, okay.
Every country is very complicated. You can't just go in and move the pieces around like chess pieces from Foggy Bottom in the State Department and think you're going to succeed.
I don't disagree. However, the job of a guy running the greatest country in the world is to identify future threats that could potentially happen. That's brewing in different places.
What is that threat?
Yo, Glenn, he's giving you layups. Take the fucking layup. It's right there. Oh, well, we're doing this, and this to this fucking country. Sanctions, subversions, ex-Green Berets trying to infiltrate your country and overthrow the fucking leader. CIA trying to get into the country and overthrow the leader. Moving military vessels in the area. Holding back from your gas station profits to your gold hidden in fucking London banks. Here's all the details of things that we've done to Venezuela. How would they look at us as like, hey, U.S., well, come on in, man. Come on in. How could they do that? Would you accept that? What's again the dumb guy logic of like, hey, Americans, would you accept that? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. Are they different species? No, they're fucking humans too. You idiots.
With that logic, we should attack Russia because they have nukes.
Essentially. Or Israel,
they
too.
Are a threat to America.
Actually, Israel's worse, right?
No,
they have hidden nukes. They have not on paper nukes.
Israel doesn't have nukes.
Exactly. That'd be the reason to attack them. Like, based on that logic, right? So it's like... it's like people wonder why my head spins sometimes. I'm just like, what the fuck? What are we doing?
Like, but it's kind of ridiculous in the sense of if the president of the best country in the world should be looking who to attack 20 years down the road, then that would be hypothetically any and every other country.
Okay. Well, yes. I get that.
Zimbabwe, in 20 years, could have a new leader that is just a bunch of renegades that figured out how to sneak into our country and just kill 100,000 people. Like,
be anything.
The
polar bears.
They're
going to slide through from Alaska and take us all out. Yeah, sure. We could do that too. Do it with anything, right? I get what you're saying, though, like with the geopolitics and yeah, anyone could potentially be a threat. Essentially, it's kind of like arbitrary, almost. Like we just pick what we want, that like who we go after for whatever reasons. It's just like,
yeah,
I want like Glenn present the idea of corruption and make him defend it. Make him be like, there's no way it's like make PBD say it. There's zero chance it's corruption. He can't do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. What argument could you make where it's like there's zero chance that the actions that are being taken are corruption? Like there is no fucking argument, Dubster. It's not there.
You could make a solid argument for attacking Venezuela. They just haven't yet.
No, there is none. It's not there.
Yeah.
It's not
They're
there.
communists. That's the easy one.
Why do you think they went to drugs? Because they don't have the arguments there. They don't have it.
They're communists. That's all you really have to do. But they're
If
not
they're
doing it for
communists,
some reason.
according to your logic, if they're communists, they're going to fail, right? So let them fail. Why do you have to like go in there and force them to fail?
No, I didn't. No, I'm saying the argument. All you have to do is say they're communists.
Yeah, but if they're communists, why can't you just let them fail? Because that's your belief. Your belief is it will fail, so let them fail.
It invokes the Monroe Doctrine.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work, my man. Not gonna work. I'm sorry. I'm sure it works in like certain threads on Reddit and shit like that, but it doesn't work in reality.
Their argument.
It doesn't work in reality, my man.
Should be their argument.
I understand. You could get on the stage and say it's the Monroe Doctrine. That's why we're doing this. It's not gonna work with regular people. It's not gonna work.
No,
we can go ahead and try if you want to.
No, what I'm saying is that's the appropriate argument to attack Venezuela. For some reason,
it's not going to work with people.
For some reason, the administration is not choosing to do that.
But it's not going to work with people.
Yes, it will.
No, it fucking won't.
Right would. We don't.
Oh, the right.
The left do not matter.
Do we do it?
The left do not matter. He doesn't care what the fucking left thinks on anything.
It's not about the left or right. Regular people who don't know anything about the fucking Monroe Doctrine.
Called the right.
Okay, tell us what the Monroe Doctrine is, and tell me how it'll work in America with regular people. Please go ahead. Tell me.
Monroe Doctrine is a guarantee of South America being to our liking in the sense of they're not communist to protect our hemisphere.
Yeah, that's gonna work for sure.
Yeah,
that'll work in mass. 100%. That'll work in mass for sure.
Dude.
Seems like you have to do like a bunch of other corrupt things to make that, like condition that into people's minds to make it work. Which means you're just falling into the thing I just said anyways. Right? Because most people don't know what the fuck that is. Have you been outside, my man? Most people don't know what the fuck that thing is. So thus you have to trick them into liking it. Without even knowing what the fuck it is.
Lefties don't know what it is. The right knows what it is.
How many percentage of Republicans in America know what the Monroe fucking Doctrine is? Just Republicans. How many of them know?
40%.
40%. Well, if they're, roughly half the country, and only 40% of them know what it is, how are you going to convince the other 60%?
How many people fought in the Civil War altogether?
I don't know.
It was 5%. It was 5% of the population.
Yeah, but how are they, the point is to protect America, right? And if they tell Americans, hey, this is why we're doing this, but they're like, what the fuck is that? That's not a real reason. That's not a real excuse.
It is a solid reason to us on the right.
But you just said only 40% of Republicans, which is roughly
right.
Right, and you have
given leeway. Well, I'm going off of who voted for Trump,
and I'm being nice, by the way.
I'm going off of the idea of who voted for Trump.
Okay,
I'm saying 40% of that. 40% of that.
40% of who voted for Trump? That's even a smaller number then. Okay. And it still comes back to my point, as in to get people to really on board with this, you'd have to do some trickery, wouldn't you? Because you don't have time to teach them the precedents.
5% of the population fought the Civil War. 2.5% and 2.5%, basically, on each side.
Yeah, people can go to war. Okay, people can go to war, but you'd have to either skirt around what American people actually want, which is what the president's supposed to be doing, right? You're supposed to care about what people actually want, the constituents actually want. If he skirts around that is corruption, isn't it? You still come back to my arena anyways.
If 40% want something,
No, you changed it. It's 40% of people that voted for Trump, which is actually quite a small number, relatively small number, right?
Good.
And I don't even think that's probably bullshit. It's probably very wrong. But I'm giving you that leeway.
Probably. I don't actually. Yeah, I don't actually know who knows about the Monroe Doctrine.
We don't know, but it's not. Let's just say it's not a mainstream topic at all, right? As far as like mainstream voters, it's usually probably not a topic for them, right? But I'm giving you the room for 40%, maybe, aka 40% of 50%, right? If I give Republicans half and Democrats half, 40% of 50%, right?
Right.
Okay,
and remember, Democrats don't matter at all. And Democrats don't matter at all.
They would in the sense of corruption, right? You're not letting people know what you're doing. So you're saying every Democrat person is a deep state operative that's full of shit.
No, it's not what I'm saying.
Some are regular people. So why would you lie to them? They're just regular people.
Oh my God, dude.
They don't know what the Monroe Doctrine is, Dubster. Right?
They chose Trump. As in, that's
no, those guys didn't choose Trump. Those guys didn't choose Trump.
Who?
These Democrats that you're talking about.
They don't matter.
So the president can say, you guys don't matter.
They lost the election.
As the president of the United States.
That is what the president has done for 200
Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying what is done. I'm saying what should he be doing? You're saying they should be ignoring another portion of the entire country. And that you would call that not corruption, right?
But you should always ignore Democrats, but sometimes they win.
Okay, we're going nowhere. All right, let's play here. Here we go.
Running the greatest country in the world is to identify future threats that could potentially happen. That's brewing in different places.
What is that threat? They don't have nukes.
Yeah, I don't think it's that threat that, the traditional threat that we're looking at with Russia or somebody else. I don't think it's Iran that, you're doing what you're doing there.
That is the threat that was given to you that you should have taken, PBD, by the way. You should have taken that threat. If you're going to do propaganda, take that threat. Take China or Russia will get a foothold in South America, thus in our hemisphere. So thus that's the threat. Which would lean towards your Monroe Doctrine thing. But apparently he's ignorant of it too. A kind of a famous name that leans Republican, I guess, that supports us knocking down Venezuela. He probably should have used that argument right there, right? That was his layup, and he didn't take it. Okay. Here we go.
I don't think it's that threat that, the traditional threat that we're looking at with Russia or somebody else. I don't think it's Iran that, you're doing what you're doing there. But I do think it's something that it's right next to us. It's a neighbor. It's close to us. It's still on this side. Here's Petro, by the way.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll be fair that because Glenn chopped it up at that point. Maybe PBD said more there. That would make more sense. But he also said it's not the threats of Russia or China or Iran. It's apparently something else that maybe I look into at another point.
Yeah, I think it's out of context.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go with that. Maybe let me look that up, actually. That's be fair. Forgive me, we do shit on the fly. So forgive me. Oh, I see Nick fans are here. Huh? Shout out to Jalen Brunson. This. Okay, yeah, there's actually timestamps. Awesome. Edward Snowden. Trump's cabinet. Interventionism good. Venezuela and Trump. Okay.
Do anything. I want peace. You've seen this clip, I'm assuming, right?
Yep,
Just right here. Go ahead, Bob.
Not war. Not war. Not war.
Okay.
And intervening and invading. It's like, oh, the Iraqis are going to welcome us as liberators.
Something like that. We'll get rid of Trump.
Okay, it's Colombia. It's like this chance and
doing what you're doing there. But I do think it's something that it's right next to us. It's a neighbor. It's close to us. It's still on this side. Here's Petro, by the way, from Colombia, saying, I'm sure you've seen this as well. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, okay. I've seen
Puede
this.
ser por el mismo Trump, la más fácil. Si no, sácala Trump.
Okay, so the translation is not there, but what he
suerte,
says is, if not, we get rid of Trump, is what he says. How do you think U.S. should react to something like this? Nothing?
Is he calling that a threat to... That's his weak fucking shit he was going to show us? That's it right there? I would expect it to more mean like get U.S. interests, aka Trump administration, out of Colombia, which is a stronghold because let's be honest. Well, hold on, real quick. Because Colombia is important to the U.S. because of the drug trade. The U.S. profits off of the drug trade. Duh. Individuals here profit off of it. Our intelligence agencies definitely profit off of it. So maybe that's his idea. Like, yeah, well, maybe we cut them off. Is that what he means, or does he mean like, yeah, let's go assassinate Donald Trump? I'm not so sure it means that. But let's see where they go. Let's see where they go with that. All right, sorry, Dubster, go ahead first. Go ahead.
So is that enough to take out a country if
he's not Venezuela.
President?
He's Colombia.
Well, okay, well, is that enough to take out a country because they threaten our president?
Did you say Colombia and Venezuela? They might go after, like, as like an idea there. Is that what you're saying? Like as an idea there?
No, I mean the fact that any country exists is a threat to our president's life.
I mean, for PBD, I think he's just using the quote and saying, like, look, this guy's bad. Because he basically threatened our great leader, the Orange Penguin, who can't do 4 push-ups at any point in his entire life. Our great leader, we need to protect him. And this guy's saying threatening things. Meanwhile, Trump moves like actual naval vessels towards countries and surrounds them. And that's okay. But he has a reason for it. Because this guy snapped his fingers. After he already did that, right? After he already moved the vessels into these areas, was already blowing up ships, or blowing up not ships, sorry, boats, blowing up boats already. All right, some of them were Colombian that died. I believe one of the individuals I heard of that survived is Colombian. He's like, "Yo, you're extrajudicially like killing our citizens." And maybe he knows there's a valve that you can turn off that would aggravate the U.S. It won't stop what they're doing, but it'll aggravate them probably. And I think that faucet is cocaine, in my humble opinion, amongst other things, right? Army bases, things like that, right? Hello. Whatever.
I hear you. I'm just thinking about what you're saying.
Fair enough.
I don't know what I think. I'm just kind of stuck on. I mean, that's World War I talk. Like, you kill our leader, we have World War I over again.
I don't understand how you read that as we take out your leader, though.
No, that's what PDQ or whatever the fuck the dude's name is.
PBD on the screen right there.
Okay. I'm
sorry. Yeah, I know. God, sorry.
Okay, so like, if we went to war with every country that's ever threatened our leader, holy fuck, right? Just think about that kind of mentality.
Well, if
that would be every heated discussion could be a threat against our leader.
I mean, if we take what he just said there and take that as a direct threat to take out our president, like, and that's working in the most vaguest terms of things, right? The most vague version of terms. Like, yeah, it'd be a lot of leaders. It'd be a lot. I'm sure we would have taken over Canada by now, and Mexico as well, and like physical like war violence takeover. It'd be a lot of countries and our neighbors. But hopefully people can like try to like read between the lines or use some sense of logic or brains, at all. But okay. PBD, listen, PBD, he has a job to do. He has a job. I don't think he doesn't care about people, in my humble opinion. He's kind of a hustler. You actually look at it. So it's his job to kind of push things in a direction. I think Glenn Greenwald is a strategist that will try to snuggle up next to motherfuckers like this and not be real with them. The point is to talk to the audience, not to PBD, because he's doing his strategy thing of kind of nudge people in a different direction and being direct about it. All right, let's keep playing. Here we go.
Okay, so the translation is not there, but what he says is, if not, we get rid of Trump, is what he says. How do you think U.S. should react to something like this? Nothing? Just kind of let it be the president of Colombia saying something like that, we'll get rid of Trump?
Okay, it's Colombia. It's like those chants in Iran, death to America. Okay, they chant death to America. Is Iran going to invade the United States? Is Iran going to bomb the United States?
You try to figure out what they mean by that?
No,
but
these are words.
Who cares?
Also, Trump has trash-talked the Colombian leader quite a bit as well.
Death, saying we'll kill him?
No, he said we'll get rid of Trump. But yes, Trump did say, he's a drug. What did he call him? He's a leader of a drug gang, or he's a drug trafficker.
He was.
And if he doesn't,
his background.
That's his
Petro's background.
Yeah, he would. Here's the thing. At some point,
Glenn, you have to teach this guy about the foreign policy of the U.S. and South America. Show him that one day. Show him that now, honestly. Show him that to be like, okay, do you understand what's going on now, PBD? Listen, I know you're an idiot. I know you're kind of a paid goon. But let's teach you something. And I'm gonna once again, I'm gonna try to talk to you directly. If you don't get it, maybe someone watching will get it. But either way, no games, no bullshit, no strategy. I'm directly talking to you. And here's what I'm seeing here. Here's the history of things I've seen. Account for it, PBD. If you can't, then go fucking hit the books, my man. Go study it then. Otherwise, you're full of shit. But then again, we can't do that, can we? It's not the nice thing to do. Anyways, let's keep playing.
First of all, there's a lot of countries in this world that hate the United States. And political leaders benefit domestically by talking about the United States, by railing against the United States. We're the strongest country in the world. We have to have the security to know that people can talk all they want. It's like if you're the biggest, strongest person, you don't
the response
get
is
upset when
I think
people.
this is what you were talking about.
Yeah, look, he's an illegal drug leader. Strongly, this is a threat as well. Coming from Trump, it's intended to be a threat. It is a threat. So these leaders, have there's people in their country who want to see their leader standing up. When.
By the way, Trump doesn't write those things. Teams write it for him, and then he says, "Okay, go ahead, send it." He doesn't write those things. If in fact, hey, Trump, about that Truth Social you put last week, why were you saying that? What was it again? What did I say? Because he has no fucking clue, honestly. Most likely, I can't say I know, but most likely he has no fucking clue of what's in these statements. Because he's a fucking idiot. And it was obvious he's a fucking idiot from the beginning. But anyways, here we go.
And when Trump says something like that, these are words. Colombia is not a threat to the United States. Venezuela is not a threat to the United States. And wars should be reserved for. I believed in the America. I was very associated with the left, my whole career. And then Trump comes and starts talking about the evils of the deep state and America first and how these wars are all wasteful.
He lied
against Bush-Cheney foreign policy and Reagan economics and the bipartisan swamp. And this is music to my ears. And I'm hoping it's true. I want to believe in this. I think that was the potential of Trump and still is.
To the crowd again.
These kind of wars, like bombing Yemen, going around, feeding Ukraine weapons, regime change in Venezuela. These were all the things we were told that we would should be expected that would end?
Okay, so
you forgot about Somalia, Sudan. Like, it's such a actual massive thing that's actually happening around the world. Glenn gave you a short list of things that you can actually like look into in regards to Trump. You can go all the way to fucking Greenland. You'll find a problem from the U.S. apparatus. You can. It's like there's so many fucking corrupt, blatantly corrupt fucking problems domestically and abroad. But it's like comes off as Glenn pleading, not with PBD. He knows he's a fucking actor. If I had to guess, he knows PBD's full of shit, a full shit actor. He's almost pleading to the audience. I believed in Trump for a bit. He said this, no more wars. He said like the fucking taglines, right? Glenn's repeating them, saying like, I was expecting this. I was hopeful for this, but I'm not getting it. You know, this doesn't work here. This doesn't work there. That's a plea to the audience, which is like, why are you groveling in front of dummies? If they don't fucking get it yet, if you can't say something blatant and they just ignore you because even though you say it like very blatantly, what do I do with that? Or like, what happens then? Do I have to keep pleading the fucking kindergartners? Like, hey, what should we do about this? There's so many kindergartners around the world. What do? I have to plead to them. What's the point at that point? You have to like say what you really mean. What are you really thinking? Not do this strategy bullshit. Whatever. To be fair, once again, this is my guess of what Glenn's doing. But yeah, you guys think for yourself. Here we go.
Going around, feeding Ukraine weapons, regime change in Venezuela. These were all the things we were told that we should be expected that would end.
Okay, so journalism.
Yes.
Let's talk about Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss just got...
Okay, just change topics. Okay. That's it for that topic. And Glenn knows it. He knows he's on a fucking talk show host thing. Guy's full of shit. He's not even good at what he does, but he has enough money and access to do certain things. Possibly from scamming people, but yeah, I don't know enough about that. But it is what it is. I'll leave it there. There's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Yeah, say whatever you want. I'm sure someone's like, Jordan's an idiot. Please go ahead. I don't mind. I don't mind. They usually run away, Dubster, though. That's the thing. Like you do. They usually run away, which is crazy. Because they're in the position of intelligence, of wisdom. They have a higher vantage point. They can see more. They can see further into the vista. They understand more. So I'm like, okay, teach me then. Tell me what you know. And it's usually gobbledygook bullshit, or they run away and don't say anything. That's all I'm saying. Just a trend I'm seeing. Just a pattern. Not saying everyone's like that. Just saying it's a quiet pattern. But either way, I'll leave it there. Yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Please join the Discord if you feel like. All opinions are welcome. We are in that Discord right now, actually. If you want to hang out and argue politics, argue ideas, philosophy, psychology, politics, music, movies, TV, all of it. All of it's welcome. Just nothing pornographic. Shout to Edley. Nothing pornographic. Ed, do you remember that? Are you there, Ed? Remember when you played that porn? Never mind. Nothing pornographic.
Close out your video.
I mean, whatever. Nothing pornographic or grotesque, but all opinions are actually very much welcome. And yes, everything I showed you in this video will be at my best ability that I know of so far, of like cleanly showing you, like putting sources in the description box. They will be there for you to watch without us pausing it, talking over it, commentating, whatever. You can watch it on your own. So please take advantage of that. And most importantly, with all that said, give this video a thumbs down. Meh.
Say you wanna get in.